Jag minns ju den tid du gav mig life billar yo. Nu vill jag kunna ge tillbaka allt jag inte kunna ge förut. Det finns ingen annan där som kan stå här by my side, oh why. Sättet du rör på det får mig att dö för det baby. För de här yardis, de vill ju bara dra ner oss. Men du är fett och vanlig. Och det jag lägger av min tid, jag vill ha det. Du får mig känna safety. Jag kan nog leda baby. Och jag kommer aldrig ändra mig. Aldrig. Kommer aldrig känna.
Greetings. How's everybody doing out there? Welcome. This is episode number 13, if I'm not mistaken. We are here today with brother Atur and sister Isha. How you doing, Baba Kimo? What's going on in Orangeburg?
I am well, full day. Everything is going well and good here in Orangeburg. I know you had a big day yesterday. Big ups to you with your cleanup campaign and what you had going on in different cities and everything. So give us a little brief about what you had going on yesterday.
Oh man, it was dope, man. We went out to a school on the east end of town called Huntington Secondary School, and it was kind of far out. Man. To be in Freetown, it was far out.
Mm-hmm.
But we went out there. We organized with 22 students. We had two teachers, a principal. Well, actually 3 teachers and a principal. Then our own members and everything. We got together. We cleaned the whole compound, the whole facility, and they had one pit, whereas people from around the community would come there and just dump their trash there, plastic, metals, and it got so bad that it would take so much labor to really clean it, and the school really ain't have it. So our intervention really got the students to do it. We was able to get some T-shirts, give them some T-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
We was able to give them a stipend. They was able to take a little bit of money home, along with that pride. So it was good, man. It was powerful, but it's only the first step. That was the first step. The first step was pulling the team together, getting them in uniform, getting them to clean up the compound. The second step is within 2 weeks, we'll be going back to the school to do a workshop. It's going to be called the Be Clean Workshop, where we do hygiene. We teach them the 10 times to properly clean their hands with soap and water to avoid diseases like typhoid and others. Very, very powerful workshop Kenya does. My wife does for the students. So we'll be doing that along with a 500-word essay on what they learned from that workshop. And then there's going to be a competition. So the top 3 graded essays, they'll be winning some money, and we'll have a little appreciation for everybody who ultimately went through the training. After that training, we'll come back and do a pep rally at the school where they'll be doing sensitization and basically teaching them what they learned from us. And so it's powerful because right away the students said, well, once you train us, we want to go out in our communities and train our people. Instantly, that's what they said, how they understood it. So it was great, man.
Oh man, that sounds great, man. That sounds good, man. It sounds like something that's sorely so needed in the community. And I saw Baba, what's his name? I think it's Singor. I saw him in another city. I think he's based in DC, and I saw another brother. I think he might have been from Atlanta. So it was a lot going on yesterday.
Yeah. Lagos, Nigeria. And the good, interesting thing about what Baba Senghor and them did up in D.C. is they was in the southeast area of D.C. And the community that they cleaned up, Malcolm X Boulevard, I believe, Malcolm X and MLK. So once it got those names, it's the center of the hood, right? So they cleaned the hood, man. You know what I mean? Like they didn't, they put all that pride and all that down. Like, man, no. It need to be seen here. And they went to an area where it's notorious for crime and things like that. But they showed brotherhood. They went out there and cleaned up the community right there where people could see them do it at. So, I definitely commend them brothers out there, and the sisters out there, DC. They always show up and show out. Ain't no doubt about it.
That's nice, man. That's nice. I like to hear stuff like that. Makes an old man like me feel good. See the younger
Yeah,
generation
man.
doing great things.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
We trying.
yeah, I hear
We
you.
trying.
All right.
So today we have the honor of bringing a fellow Orangeburg native, fellow Orangeburg descendant, who, like myself, has made the journey back home to the continent. Of course, he's taken a different path and has his own story to tell. He finds himself in Tanzania with his wife, his queen, and they've been there and they've been doing the same work. They've been educating people about how to cross over, what they can look forward to on the motherland, and just being of service, just serving the people in the best way that they know how. And so I really want to honor, our family, man, our people. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
homeboy.
Yeah, definitely Gullah Geechee folk back.
Yeah.
The brother Atur is a Gullah Geechee, and beyond that, it's about the work that he put in on the continent that I really, really, really want to bring forth, just to show that it really is Geechee without borders, man. Like once you understand who we are and where we're from, and that we come in all complexions and all sizes and all we all over the place. We actually exist as a population. You can start seeing the greatness that we represent on this earth. So this is one of the brothers that definitely shines light on that, him and his queen. And with no further ado, I think it's appropriate to bring him in. We got Kenya behind the scenes, y'all.
Salama, family, salama.
Salama.
Hello there.
Peace.
Hello. How are y'all? How are y'all? Good to see y'all. Good to meet y'all.
We are well. We are well.
Absolutely, brother.
I apologize.
Tell us about yourself, brother. I hear you from the Berg here, so you know what the Berg is like.
Oh yes, Onionburg in the house. You know how we do.
Yeah. So
I went to OW.
Oh,
so
okay.
Okay, that's
yeah,
good.
My family lived on Cherry Lane. Yeah, we lived on Cherry Lane.
Okay, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. Oh, that's right off of the Belleville Road, am I correct?
Yep.
Right on. Yeah, we got a lot of family over that way. A lot of family over there.
Okay. Yeah, man. So welcome, brother. Welcome, sister. How y'all doing, man? What's going on with Tanzania today? What's going on over there?
Man. Go ahead, love. Okay. So, man, today it's a beautiful day. Beautiful day. It's normally it'd be drought season, but right now it's just been so much rain that it's been good. Because here where we live in the more rural areas. As Cody, a lot of people when they come from the U.S. over here, they want to go to the city. They want to stay where it's more comfortable. But people that's really coming here to do the work, we go out where the work is really needed. So we see why the work is needed, and so to have the rain right now is real good. People are benefiting from it. And as my brother said, we've been doing a lot of work here, just coming home because we've been going way too long. There was the village we live in, there was a school here that we are working with, and the school had about 1,312 students with only
it's a big school.
Yeah, it only had 27 teachers for all these students. But they didn't have any fresh water. So what we did, we have an NGO, nonprofit, and we put a borehole in at the school. We kind of taken the school under our wing. We put the borehole in. They're never going to have to worry about water again. The roof was leaking. We repaired the roof. It needed stairs and different things. And so just some of the things that we're doing here.
How long have you been over there?
We've been here
about 2.5 years.
Yeah, 2.5 years now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I definitely understand what you're saying in terms of living in the rural area. I haven't lived in the rural areas. I lived in Freetown, but there's parts of Freetown that's like the rural area. But I have stayed in the villages as well, so I know exactly what you mean. Um, it's beautiful out there. Actually, there's a level of peace that you get out there that you can't buy nowhere else. And so, I commend the work that you do. A lot of people are coming home to find luxury and, almost like bluff the people who can't make it yet. But to see y'all doing y'all thing, man, real humble with it. Get out there and get involved and open the door for other people. It's beautiful. Me and my wife, we do the same thing. As you know, you guys have a show, a YouTube channel. And y'all was able to interview her. I didn't know. I didn't know Brother Atur was from was an Orangeburg brother, man. I think I would have bogart the interview. Yo. I bogart the interview. Yeah. Hey, man, look, home team, man. You can take pride in where you're from. You know what I'm saying? Where your ancestors at. You know what I'm saying? And ain't nothing wrong in the world. We still remain that. And so Tanzania in general, would you say that Tanzania is pretty friendly to the diaspora?
Yes.
Yeah.
The country, generally the people, they're very friendly to the diaspora. It's really kind of like the government where you kind of have an issue. It's not that you can't do things or you can't live here, but it's just a lot of red tape that you have to go through here. But the people in general, they're very friendly, very welcoming, very helpful to the diaspora.
Yeah, they're very excited for us to be coming back, because for here, they don't really understand the slave trade here because it was kind of hidden to them, the real details of it. We talk to some people here, they tell us stories about, we heard that the slaves were taken from the West Coast, they were taken from here, taken to the West Coast as well, and taken over to the America, South America, and to the Caribbean. But we know that we were told some people were allowed to come back. And I was like, because they didn't like it. And I was like, nah, it didn't work out like that. So when we break down for them what really went down, they go, that's okay. I understand. They understand about the gator bait, our women being hung from trees and the babies being cut out of them. We have to explain that to them. That these people that's coming over here trying to make like they're a savior to them is not who they putting up to be.
Yeah, man. Tell that, man. Tell the truth. Shame the devil. It's the real deal because I've been here 10 years. February will be my 11th year. My wife has been here 8 years. I think December 2nd will be her 8th year. And we in West Africa, just the fact that you're talking about people, them having a belief in East Africa that some of us came back, me living in Freetown where some of us did come back and settle. And most of the people who did came back, they came back from the same counties that we come from in South Carolina and Georgia and North Carolina and Florida. They was our kinfolk. They came back at a different period of time to settle this place. Then just south of here, you got Liberia. So you do have historical returns, but like you said, when you tell them the full story, they realize that it's not a romantic tale. It's a horror story. We telling you about a genocide that took place that the whole rest of the world chooses to ignore, and we have to be this. We have to continue to campaign for justice and make sure that every aspect of our community know that this happened to us, because it should be in the global curriculum.
Yes, it should. And we got to create our own curriculums too. Because as you see what's going on over in Florida, because you just mentioned Florida, how they trying to hide the truth because trying to make up foolishness about how slavery was a benefit to the slaves. So we have to really put the truth out there so people know what really happened, And so I appreciate what you brothers are doing here, with the Gullah Show, because, a lot of people don't know the history of what the Gullah Geechee people played a role in the people coming back home. They don't know that. So, and I'm not going to sit here and act like I know it all about the Gullah culture. My aunt, she's very deep in it, things she's told me. That's how the what I do know, I got from her, because she's from Charleston, So, yeah.
That's how we do it, man. You know, we go back to the sources. Fortunately,
Right.
you know, my mother left Orangeburg in 1972. I was
Okay.
born in Pennsylvania in 1979, but I grew up on I-95, and you know, I went to elementary school in Pennsylvania and South Carolina, so I had a little touch of it. But you know, Baba Kimo is one of my elders. He's one of my elder relatives as well. He's a cousin. He's a cousin, but he's more of an uncle. You know how we do.
Yeah.
And so it's like, yeah,
Okay.
go ahead, Baba.
No, I was born here in Orangeburg, born right here in Orangeburg, and in the segregated hospital. But I grew up in New York, so I was born into the culture. But like I said, I left here when I was a young kid, like 8, 9 years old, and my mom always sending me back and forth. Her thing was, as soon as school was out, you got to go to the country. You ain't gonna spend no summers in New York. You
Mm-hmm.
got to go down south.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got
Mm-hmm.
down south, grandma and granddaddy and everybody, we had to work the farm, and I hung
Yep. Go
out.
out there and pick them butter beans. Get them butter
Yeah,
beans out there.
I did all that. I did all that. I hung out with people at OW, at
Okay.
GW Carver, OW. That's where all my family went to school at. All my aunts and uncles went to South Carolina State and Claflin.
Yep.
You know,
Marching 101, baby.
watching one. When I was going to ask you if you was a Bulldog fan.
Oh, all
You
day.
know,
All day.
because you know we got
Okay.
homecoming coming up. I think homecoming is going to be a couple of more weeks from now. I think they're playing Howard for homecoming. That's going to be big. That's going
Oh
to
yeah,
be
that's gonna be big.
Later on this month, I believe.
yes, later on this month, and I hope they come out and play good because you know Coach Pugh, Buddy Pugh, this is his last year. He's gonna be retiring, so I hope he go out in a big way. You know, I hope he do good. They ain't been
Yeah.
playing good so far, but they won
They
their
talk
last.
about getting they talking about getting Ray Lewis, ain't it?
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard that. I heard that they want to get him, and I don't know, but we'll see. Well, you got to know what he's doing when he come to Orangeburg because they know they football here.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. You better know. You
Yeah.
know. So it's very important what we're talking about, man. Just this vibe because you know, Brother Atur was saying like, you know, his auntie is down in Charleston, and she kept the knowledge for him, so that when you know when he wanted, he can just go to his auntie and get it. And it's very important that we have these jellies in our family, these oracles, these people with this vast information. And you know, he was talking about Florida and DeSantis. It's so crazy because you realize like Florida, all the way up until the end of the Seminole Wars, was a contested territory, all the way up until just
Oh, well, I guess Chief got cut off. Well, yeah, I'm going to say, well, we know what DeSantis is, but
okay.
the church is here, the church is down
Yeah,
there in
so
Florida.
you know, Gullah Geechee people were resisting the U.S. military. We was resisting the United States from being from taking over Florida, and it just shows you how far the culture has gone. Shows you how far the culture has gone. Shows you how integrated the culture is, and everything like that, man. You know, everybody might not speak the same or remember as many folk tales or as much roots as the next person, but it's in the bloodline. It is who we are. In West Africa, it's very, very clear on who we are. And it's because we've been coming back as such. We've been really building relationships out here for a long time. The return to Africa has been focused mainly on West Africa because, of course, you know, the slave trade primarily took people from here. What is the general attitude towards Africans from the diaspora, from the Americas? Just in East Africa as a whole, I would imagine that they would feel a little less connected than those like in Nigeria or Ghana or here in Sierra Leone. Like, do they feel like it happened to them?
So being here, what we've learned, there were slaves taken from East Africa and brought all the way to the west coast of Africa to be sold in the Atlantic slave trade.
Yeah, it was a huge slave trade over here.
Yeah.
And there are slave posts up and down the coast everywhere here. There's several in Tanzania alone, where you can go, and it's a museum just like on the West Coast. So it was huge over here as well. We just didn't know it until we got here. Right.
There's a place here called Bagamoyo, which means heartbreak, because if the slaves made it there, they knew they were heartbroken because they knew they would never see Tanzania again.
Oh, man, wow.
That's just like that's like free.
I never heard too much about the trade on the east side of Africa. You always hear about the West, man. It just shows you how vast this thing was. You know, they was just snatching people from everywhere, from all corners. It was going up and down, man. That's amazing, man. You know, it's astounding. Really, it's mind blowing.
Yeah.
So the people here, though, even though it happened, it's not like the West Coast. It's very different. They're very disconnected with that history here. And so, honestly, they still praise their colonizers over here. So, yeah. Like when you go into their museums and different things, everything that they pride themselves in, when it comes down to, oh, let me take you to the museum, let me take you to show you this place, these ruins, it's always their colonizers that they're praising and say, oh yeah, this German person, oh, this Sultan person, oh, this, yeah, they praise them over here. And I'd be like, wait, you know, these were your colonizers, the ones who put y'all in slavery and did all these things to you. Why are y'all so proud about these people? So, but they do. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if that's why I say there's a big disconnect. Like they don't get it on this side.
Yeah, they definitely drunk the Kool-Aid when it came to that aspect. You know, so they believe the lies that were told to them. You know, like when I was referencing earlier about them saying that people went back, but what they were taught is that people were on the ship, and when they got to America, they said, "Oh, I don't like it. Take me back." And the slave masters brought them back, and I was like, "No, it didn't work like that. People had to escape to come back."
Yeah.
Right. Now, when it comes down to the diaspora, I would say this: it was shocking when we got here, because you know we hear so much about West Africa. You see the culture there, our African culture. You see the attire, everything. But when we got the traditions, when we got to Tanzania, and we're like, well, where is the African culture that's like so vibrant and is not here? It's just there's no really traditional attire here or anything like that. No.
Yeah, because the most traditional stuff you're gonna see here is the Muslims.
Yeah.
You know, but outside of that, you know, they're wearing regular t-shirts and jeans, you know, none of the traditional, you know, the nice fabrics and colors that you see, the vibrant colors in African culture.
You don't see
you know, and so
I find that shocking, man. I thought, because you know, you always see when you think of East Africa, you know, you think of the safaris and people going out into the bush. You think of maybe the Zulu people or whatever, but I thought it, you know, you surprised me with that.
No, and as far as safaris and different things like that, most of them, they've never seen them.
They can't afford it.
Because they can't, they live here, but they can't even afford to go. So that's something that we're like, we have to try and change this in the school so that the children at least get a chance to have a field trip to see. These are their national parks, animals of their country. But most of them never get an opportunity to experience anything like that. They're literally built and priced for foreigners.
You're right. It's tourism. That's it. But it's a type of tourism, unlike Disney World. It's a tourism only for vacationers.
Yeah. It's colonialism. It's colonial tourism. It's You know, it's crazy because here in Sierra Leone we've been fighting the same thing, and because Bunce Island, for instance, I believe the United States government pays money to help them redeem Bunce Island, but they also have like a grip on it as well. You know, they use it in certain kind of official ways that has nothing to do with the heritage that that we share. That is symbolic of. Um, it's it's like one of the main things because they have so much of our memory in their museums already. And then when you come to Africa, they hide the treasures from us, the monuments and the relics. And when you find out that the people don't actually know, so many people don't know about Bunce Island. So many people don't know about the Gullah rainforest. They don't know that almost every remedy they want is in that rainforest. They have no idea. They heard about them. They heard about the pygmy hippos. But they've never seen them with their eyes. And so this is the aspect of colonialism that we really typically don't talk about. And you got to be close. You got to be close to the people to observe it. You got to be close to the people to observe it, because they smile for the strangers. They smile for the tourists. But when you live with them, they don't smile all the time. They'll come to you with their trouble. They'll come to you when they're crying. They'll come to you when they're hurting. And you really see the humanity of African people when you live with them.
Yeah, definitely. Right. Definitely.
Yeah.
So
I want to ask you, are you guys involved in tourism?
No, we're not involved in tourism. Now we do desire to bring some things, but it's not really just for tourism purposes. Our NGO is an urban development NGO. So our desire is to bring things that, tourists will benefit from, but it's really things for everybody as far as enjoyment. We're big on building things that will build communities and also build families. So making memories with your family is big. But here, unfortunately, just like throughout our land here, Africa, you don't have in a lot of areas things that bring enjoyment, things that are going to bring families closer together. So we're working to actually change that out here, because the family structure is not just in the US where we see that the families have been broken apart. We see it here a lot.
Here.
As well.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that. I was looking at one of your videos. I think you guys got a something coming up on the 8th, community festival or something. And that reminds me of some things that go on here in Orangeburg, because we have a community day, a maypole day, or they do a vacation Bible school or something like that, just to bring families out together. For they have Coke Day out in out in the country, where people from the different families, they come together and everybody bring out the big dog grills, and they had trucks and everything out there. But it's a way for us to come together and hang out with your family.
Yes, definitely. Get away from the troubles and stuff, just trying to grind all the time just for $5 really out here. So we it's called Kanye Fest. So it's coming up actually next Sunday.
Yeah. All right. And wow.
Yeah. What we're trying to do with that, our desire is to build a community center out here. And so this Kanye Fest that we're doing, they've never had anything like that here where we live. So it's going to be the first of its kind here. So we're going to have bounce houses, games, food, music, free health checks. And we've got a couple of the leaders going to come out and speak. And we got one of the local soccer teams is going to come out, play with the kids, take pictures with them, let the kids try to kick a goal against them. Do some fun, tug of war, 3-legged races, sack races. We got eating contests, just to have fun.
It sounds like y'all bringing Orangeburg to Africa, because those are the same things. Those are the same things that we do here. I work at I work at the county library, and that's exactly what we do. You know, we like yesterday they had they was teaching these little kids how to take care of bunnies, and they had a little a yoga class for the young kids. So we pretty much doing the same thing. You guys just doing it over there.
Yeah. And, you know, so this will be the first. And then, like I said, our desire is to get this community center going. The community center, what we desire is for it to have multi-purpose rooms where we can
That's what I do, man. That's exactly what I do. It's amazing, man. I have a multi-purpose room with computer. I run a computer lab. And I train, I help a lot of the people in the community with resumes, how to apply for different things. That's what I do.
That's what we're gonna be doing here.
Right.
That's what we're gonna be doing here because they don't have a like y'all remember in high school they taught you how to go for an interview, how to create a resume.
Yes.
They don't know. They're not taught that here. So we're gonna teach them how to do that. We're gonna do English classes. We're gonna also do Swahili classes for people who are coming over. One of our board members has 40 years of HVAC. So he wants to come and he wants to do some free classes to teach them how to do HVAC and do some workshops. We also have some other construction guys. Also, we're going to have the computer lab, have a play area where we can read to the children. We're going to put some real Black history books in there for them to understand who their ancestors are and what they went through, you know.
Yeah, that's the remedy.
And outside have a basketball court, a little eating area, a walking trail. So that's our desire.
Man, y'all just bringing Orangeburg. I'll say it again, man. Y'all just bringing Orangeburg to Africa. That's exactly the same.
I'm trying to tell you something.
Here sounds like
it's our culture. It's our culture. It's with us wherever we go.
It's our culture, man. They said the same thing about me when I came back home from New York. I started bringing that African culture with me down here that I was doing in the Bronx.
Right. Yeah, that's it. That's it. The transfer of knowledge. Yeah. You know, reversing that brain drain. During the slave trade, that's what happened. They took the young and the intelligent and the gifted and the blessed, and they took them out. And when we coming back, it's impossible for us not to bring our blessings back. It's impossible for us not to bring that energy back. Just like you said, whether it's Orangeburg to New York and then New York and back, or it's from Africa to America back to Africa, it's the same thing. You know, it almost gives us purpose. We was talking before the call, we was using the biblical story of Joseph, whereas he had been betrayed and sold into slavery and everything. But had that not happened, he would not have been in place for his family when they would have needed him most. And so there was a purpose to his suffering. And, that story helps me understand. And I'm not a Christian, but it's just one of those stories that says, man, we got to, it happened for a reason. And now we got a role to play. I'm living through it and y'all living through it. The fact that you're centered on family and community. Now, I want to also say happy anniversary. I've seen on your post, it's been 20 years that y'all been together as husband and wife, king and queen. And that's 20 years, man. That is not 20 days. That's not 20 months. That's 20 years. That is 20 years. So I congratulate y'all on that. I'm halfway there. Me and my wife we got a dime in,
we got both of y'all beat. Me and my wife Lisa will be celebrating our 40th anniversary this coming May.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Congratulations.
Oh, wow. Congrats.
Yes.
We got 40 years in.
Look, I'm gonna tell you like this. I hope we never catch you. People be like, I want to get to where people always be like, I want to get to where you at. No, I don't want you to catch me, because if you only trying to get to where I'm going, that means you plan on getting divorced. So I'm not trying to catch you.
Man.
You know what I'm
saying? Try to go far as possible.
We solid over here, man. We solid.
Yes. But the whole thing about it is that, man, when we move as family units, we move as one, as husband and wife in this world, in the proper African spirit. There's like no greater form of fortitude. When we, when we really know and we vibing off the same vision and we moving on the same mission. I see that written all over what y'all do. I had the opportunity to watch some of y'all videos, and man, it's just coming off the screen at you like, man, these are some authentic Africans right here. These some good people. And I don't know where Sister Aisha is from. Where you from, sister?
I'm actually from South Florida.
Okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Florida in the building, you know?
My husband say I'm not from the real South because he said Florida ain't the real South.
Nah, you from the bottom.
I'm from down by Miami, so.
Yeah, you from the bottom.
The Go Van. Which one of y'all is the Go Van?
I'm a Go Van.
Okay. So we do have some Go Vans.
Yeah, we suspect you.
Yeah,
you might be a kid folk.
Chief and I, what are we, Chief? Fourth generation, fifth generation cousins.
Yeah, third cousins. Yeah.
But so wait, let me clear it up real quick though.
Okay.
So now I'm not a true Govan. Let me break it down for you real quick. My mother, she was married, but they so my sister, she's a true Govan from Hartsville. Okay. But her father and my mom separated, and my mother met my father, who's from Charleston. All right. But they separated, and at the time her divorce wasn't finalized when I was born. And unfortunately, she went into a coma while she was giving birth to me. And so when they named me, they just went off the last name that was there. And at the time, we didn't have the money to pay to have the name changed. So I've been, Govan, but my last name should be Martin. Yeah, because my people from Charleston are Martins, if you went by my father. But my people in Orangeburg are Max. So I'm related to the Max in the Sistrum.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
Max
and Sistrums.
Well, there you go.
I know Max and Sistrums. My mother's college professor was a man named Jimmy Mack, and he was a science teacher. But I know some Max and I know some Sistrums. They got a big church not too far from my house right now. It's all over there on the North Road. You might know where the North Road is. It's going up the North Road, going towards north. They have a big church there. It's St. Stephen's. That's the Mack church.
Oh,
yeah. My grandmother went to that church. Louise Mack.
So you see,
Chief, what I say, if you tell me the church, I can tell you where you come from.
I can tell you where you come from. Exactly.
Exactly. That's the real South. That's the real South.
Yeah, that's the real. That's the first thing they ask you when you come to Orangeburg. Right. If you've been gone for a while, the first thing they're going to ask you is where's your
family church
and where your family church is at. So I know for a fact that the Mack Church is St. Stephen's, and the man I was just talking about, Jimmy Mack, unfortunately he passed, but he was the man at St. Stephen's, and I probably can consider him to be one of my mentors, so to speak, because I learned a lot from Mr. Mack. Learned a lot. He was a fishing man and a hunting man.
And even what you're saying with that low country Orangeburg dynamic, that's really the norm in Orangeburg when you look at it. A lot of the families came up from Orangeburg, from the low country for education in Orangeburg, hooked up with somebody out there locally, had babies, stayed behind. Even if you look at the history of Orangeburg, there's always Charleston, Orangeburg, always been neighborhoods. Always, those populations always been integrated. It's only now that you find people making a difference. It's only now that you find people saying, well, no, this is down there and this is way up over there. Only now. Right. Our people never had that mentality.
Right.
You understand that?
One of the things back in the day.
Yeah, you're right. We shared that whole low country. It's low country all the way up. It's low country all the way up to the fall line. You don't reach the fall line till Columbia. The geographic low country is from the coast all the way to Columbia.
Yep.
How you get to Columbia without going through Orangeburg now? Somebody got to make it make sense.
You can't.
How you get to the coast without going through Charleston?
Somebody got to make it make sense. You know what I mean?
Right.
Somebody got to make it make sense. But you know, it's all gravy, man. And like you said, you know, we've been doing genealogy for some time, me and Cuz, for a couple years together, man. And just putting this together and, you know, studying not only our own genealogies, but the genealogies of the other families that share the same history as us. So that's why we just jump right on the name. Govin, hold up. We know that name.
Yeah.
We know we know the white history of it. We know their history of it. We know the black history of it. We know their plantations. We know what churches they went into.
We made it our business to know this area, to know the Owensburg area. And I've been studying and researching these family histories for long before me and Chief hooked up. You know, I was into it. So I know what they did to us. I know how they did it. I know when they did it. It ain't too much you can tell me about Orangeburg. I know Orangeburg like I know New York. You know,
Baba Chemo.
yeah.
That's why you Baba Chemo, man. So, let me ask you guys. Have you guys went into the genealogy journey or the genetic journey? Have you taken genetic testing? You find out more about your heritage?
Done it. Yeah, I haven't done it as of yet, only because I already know it's going to trace back to Sierra Leone. Because my aunt, like I told you, if you're familiar with Queen Quet out of Charleston, do you? So, Baba, do you know Elder Carly Town?
Yeah, that's Queen Quet right here.
Yeah. So that's my aunt. That's my dad's sister. That's my aunt. So for me, I don't really have to. Even though I know I got to do it just so I can get my passport for over there. But because she's already done it, I already know what mine is going to come back as. But for right now, this is where we are for right now. So until the mission is done here, you know, where our focus is right here. But I know my wife. It's funny because being here, everyone that sees her, they think she's from here. So we got a good feeling her stuff is going to tie back here to Tanzania.
That'd be dope.
Because let me tell you a quick story. When we first arrived back in June of 2021, we were coming through immigration at the airport. And the immigration, they separated us. And they were telling her, this is not a real passport. You're from here. How did you get this? And they were just talking to her in Swahili, and she's telling them, I don't understand what you're saying. And they were telling her she was from there. And everybody, when they see us, they always say, oh, you're the guy who married the Tanzanian woman. And I'm like, yo, she's
that's amazing.
Oh man.
So we got the West and the East mix here.
Right.
Hey, that's powerful, man. Shit, that's the best of both worlds, you know. And you know, that's dope, man. Eventually, when you make it to Sierra Leone, man, you ain't gonna have no problem, man. The door is wide open over here. We've been really like pounding the ground out here, man. They know us very well here. The powerful thing is that the citizenship is opened up. We have a few brothers of two families actually that was in Tanzania before they came here. They went to Tanzania a few years ago, but they ultimately chose. I think they took DNA test in the middle of it. Ended up getting the Sierra Leone citizenship and was like, well, I'd rather get citizenship in one country than to stay in Tanzania with no citizenship when I can get my citizenship and go back if I want, but at least I'm a citizen in Africa. Can you know, the citizenship benefit is something that is like a tangible, no one can take away from you, you know, and you can move around the world with it. You know, there's been over 400 people who've gotten their citizenship here since 2019 by way of DNA tests. We played a big role in opening up that discussion with the government in the particular offices that's now overseeing this process back in 2016, my wife and I. Very, 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 very important thing because now not only the people who are getting the citizenship, but their children and their children's children and their children's children are in line to continue to inherit their dual citizenship. It was a very powerful thing.
So let me ask you a quick question with that, because I had read something, and you know, I take reading stuff with a grain of salt at times for people who are actually there boots on the ground. So I was told that, because like I said, I know I will get citizenship because of the DNA, but I was told that when I read that because she might not come back as Gullah, that she wouldn't get the citizenship. She could just get residency. Now, is that true? Or how does that work?
I think the thing is this: the citizenship is being granted based on DNA connection. It doesn't mean that she can't be a citizen. It means that one of you had to be a citizen for her to go and try to get a citizenship as a wife of a citizen now.
Gotcha.
So it means that somebody has to be a citizen for her to get that anyway. So that means one of you had to go through the process and then go through the other process. Say, well, okay, well, I'm here. I'm a citizen now. This is my wife. How are we going to work this? You know,
Gotcha.
so somebody got to get it first, man. People bringing their kids over here, everything, man. It's not a game. It's wide open, and the government here is in full support of it, and you know it's a very useful. You know, they give you the ECOWAS passport. They give you the citizenship as if one or both of your parents were born here. That's the category of citizenship they give you. So they don't give you the citizenship of a Nigerian who moves here and gets a passport. No, they give it to you as if your father or your mother was born here in Sierra Leone and you was born out there in America. So they give you that same lane. It's a powerful thing.
Gotcha.
That's cool. Okay.
Yeah, we definitely gonna talk about that. We definitely gonna talk.
Yeah, and here you can't own land. You can't freehold land if you're not a citizen. Constitutionally, they have a Negro clause like Haiti used to have and Liberia has. If you ain't a Negro, you ain't of African descent. By the Constitution, you ain't supposed to be no citizen unless you do something extra great for the country and they give you it in honor. But you have to be African to be a citizen here. Right. And so,
Tell them about our situation. We have a unique situation because we found actual blood relatives. I match up with blood relatives from Sierra Leone. From Mayambo and was it Bo?
Kinema.
Yeah, Kinema. So through DNA, through the process of DNA, I was able to find blood relatives, and Chief and I tracked them down. So we know them, we met them.
Nice.
We built relationships with them.
Yeah, it's powerful because you know you have different DNA tests that you can take. You can take the X or the Y test, which gives you your mother's results, or your father's results, or you can take the autosomal, which gives you all of your results. If you got some Asian back there a long time ago, it's gonna show up. You got some you got some European in there. There it go. It's gonna show you.
Right.
So I think that's the one that we did because that test gives you tested matched cousins who also took the test. You understand, right? So for me and Baba, we've been doing genealogy, independently for years. But since we came together, man, we've really been able to put together our heads to go into this, genetic science as well, utilizing it as well. It's so rewarding. We found 3 cousins here in Sierra Leone. We have about 5 in Liberia. And when we say we, it's because we know where we connect that because we know our genealogy. We know exactly what lineages we fall under. So if the person is connecting to me on the same lineage that I connect to him, it only means that's a cousin that didn't show up in his matches because we know how DNA plays. So this is why you're supposed to do DNA with your family because your cousin will get somebody you ain't get. Your mama will get match somebody you wouldn't match because how the DNA loses itself throughout generations. So Baba is reaching back a whole generation farther than what I can reach, and pulling cousins that I don't have the DNA trace of. And in the same way, I'm doing it as well because I can say, look, this 4 over here in Liberia, And so we're able to put together our multi-ethnic African identity. And because, yes, and we've been doing the work to connect as well. So we found 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 living Mende relatives born in Sierra Leone. 3.
Wow.
We've connected with 2 of them so far. I met one of them.
I found people here in Orangeburg that I've known for forever and had no idea that we were blood related because the connections go so far back. And I was blessed enough to have been around my grandparents, so I know a lot of the oral history. And like me and Chief talk all the time, and I'll be like, "Oh, that's something my grandmama said." "Oh, my mama told me we was kin to so and so and so." So I was blessed to hear a lot of these stories growing up and tied it in with documents that we have found stating that on a certain line. Well, we found 2 relatives that we know for a fact that were captured in Africa, kidnapped in Africa.
Oh yeah. And we found others as well, man. We've been able to find people. We've been able to find more than one case of Africans illegally being smuggled into Orangeburg County. Back then, Orangeburg County was Orangeburg District, so it included Aiken. It included Bamberg. It included Lexington. It included Calhoun. So it included all of those areas. It wasn't just the county that we see. And that was from 1768 all the way to 1868. So it means we was already emancipated before it became a county. So all those families was together in one district, and that one district had one central government. And when you understand that all of those Europeans were interrelated, intermarried, and so was a lot of those Africans because they were, and they held us as property. The story becomes more visible. But when you hear about the case of the Wanderer, whereas they took Africans from the Congo, about 410 of them, and they took them over to Jekyll Island in Georgia and scattered them. They scattered them, took a whole bunch of them up the Savannah River, and some of them even went all the way to Texas and Florida. But it was the last known illegal importation of Africans before the recent discovery of the Clotilda. So back then they didn't know about the Clotilda. They only knew about the Wanderer. But 25% of that population ended up in Orangeburg. This is 1858. This is 3 years before the Civil War. And so some of us have these cultures and these traditions that appear to be Congolese related, but it's just something that grandmama and them did. We just dismissing it. We don't understand that they retain African tradition in the Midlands.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah,
right.
Because when I was growing up, we didn't just call it Geechee culture here in Orangeburg, but that's what it was, and I know that's what it was because I was born into it. I was there. I remember how my grandfather and my uncles and them raised me, and when I read history books now, I could tie it all in and say, man, we've been doing this all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So, one of the things that we're doing with this platform is broadening the discussion around the Gullah Geechee identity, but in a way that allows us to appreciate the full Africanness of us all. Some people would take it more tribal. Oh, I'm Geechee, man, get out of here. I'm different than all of you. But for us, it's like, no, man, being Geechee is something that we brought to the world collectively. Our ancestors collectively spoke that language. They collectively worked those fields. They collectively sang them songs and developed those traditions and those folklores, that make us who we are, make us different, and also make us just as human as everyone else. So identity is your humanity. It's your claim to being just as human as everybody else. And historically, the notion has been that the Gullah Geechee culture is only on the islands or only restricted to the low countries. And me and Baba always talk about it, but it's a great injustice to our ancestors to demark like there was a border around it. Like for you to have Charleston and Orangeburg ancestry in one person, you are absolutely Gullah Geechee. 100%.
When
100%.
When Chief said, when he told me about you, he said, "Oh, I got this brother from Orangeburg wanting to come on the show." I said, "Well, who he is? What's his name? I might know who he is." And it's just amazing how these connections keep popping up for us. These Sierra Leone connections, these Orangeburg connections, and it's worldwide. But for some reason, whether spiritually or whatever, these things keep happening to me and Fode. It's been happening for the last 2 or 3 years. So it's very powerful what we're doing.
I'm pretty sure.
It's essential for sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if I keep digging and Baba, you keep digging, we related because you know how Orangeburg is. You couldn't date nobody because it was probably your cousin. So
that's true.
I'm trying to tell you.
I'll tell you this story here. When my son came back to Orangeburg, he was going to school out of the country. He was going to Edisto, GW Carver. And he brought this young lady to my mother's house. And when he brought the young lady there, you know, my mother, his grandmother gave her the 3rd degree, like who you are, who your people is, so and so and so. And when she said she was a Cleckley, my mother was like, "Oh my God.
Don't touch."
Yeah, you cannot see this young lady. This young lady is your cousin. And their faces hit the ground. I'm not saying they did anything, but I know that they were very close. You know?
It's
we understand. We understand
real quick.
But look, now here's the crazy thing. Even for my wife, you know, when we met, her grandparents were talking and my mom was talking, and they started saying, "Well, yeah, I know this. I know that name. I know some Macs. I know some Oranges." And it was kind of like, But I'm like, look, that's way down the line there. So
we even did.
Cuz. Hey, family, look, for real, you never know. When you understand the intricacies of the Civil War and how it brought people from different plantations together into camaraderie, and then afterwards they start settling together and built these little black towns with the Christian leaders, with the clergy. Like, we went through a whole process to create a new being after chattel slavery, and we did it together, and it's possible. Those aren't our names. That's why you see my name said Mansa Fode Ajamu. My last name is Mansa Ray. I came back to reclaim what was mine. My mother told me when I was a Mandingo. I came home and met some Mandingos and said, "Yo, I'm here for mine." They said, "Oh, well, we see you here. Take this." So it's it's a thing. Same thing happened with Baba Kimo. He didn't just look and make up a name. It was given by one of the relatives that we matched with.
Yeah,
she said,
one of the cousins that we connected with, Fatia, she gave me the name Kimo, and she accepted me in 4 days. The first thing she said, "I accept you guys as my long lost relatives because of the transatlantic slave trade." She's been very open. Fatia is the best, man. I talk to her.
Yes.
I talk to her maybe once or twice a month. She's always, since we met, we've been like this.
I had a chance to meet her out here last year when she was here, man. And man, she tall. She got the long fingers, the long head, everything. I'm like, I'm looking at her like, hold up, what's going on here? But she has a story.
Her father happens to have a strong resemblance to my great-great-grandmother.
Wow.
Oh, yes, sir.
I put the pictures side by side.
And
I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. It's truly amazing, man. So she's accepted us. I've accepted her. Fode has accepted her. We can
absolutely.
Same thing here in Tanzania. My wife's seen people. There's a lady that works for one of the government offices here that we had to go in and talk to about some of the things we're doing here. And when me and my wife walked in, we both just kind of stopped and our mouths just dropped open. This lady looked like she could be the twin sister almost of her grandmother.
Wow. Wow. It's, you know what? It's probably very, very true. Well, her, you know what with you coming from South Florida, is that where your family was at, South Florida?
No, they were from Georgia and Alabama.
Georgia is right
Okay.
next door, man. But Georgia is no
Yeah.
different than South Carolina.
Yeah, ain't no
Georgia and
different.
South Carolina is
the same.
it's the same thing.
They chopped Georgia off of South Carolina. They created Georgia out of South Carolina. The population of South Carolina they used to populate Georgia with first.
Yeah.
You know, it was the politicians in South Carolina that decided to make a Georgia.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what they did here also. Like the Buckwood collectors, the white collectors that enslaved our family here. What they did, a branch of that family took a bunch of Africans to Georgia with them. So you never know. You never know. And these DNA tests prove that all the time. I myself, not only have I found African cousins, but I have connected long lost cousins from different, they have moved away. They went up to New York, Philadelphia, whatever. But I have been connected with them and brought them back into the family.
It's wild. It's wild because
separation. They were separated from us for a couple of generations, but they knew, they knew this. The last name was such and such. And I said, well, yeah, those are my people. And when they told me, if you tell me enough information, I can figure it out, and I can say what line, what generation you came from. I did that with you.
Yep. Absolutely.
The minute Chief told me who his people was, we started talking. I said, hey, wait a minute. That's my cousin. And he said, oh, that's my mama people. Then he said, I came up on Gulf Avenue.
Oh, man.
Gulf Avenue. You know where Gulf is, right near Jameson.
The hill, 1224.
You know where Mr. Jameson had his little shop right there? Right across from South Carolina State?
Yeah, that's his family shop.
Yeah,
that's Baba Kimo family shop.
Got my first cap gun right there at Jameson shop.
Man. When I connected with him, and because I saw his autobiography, and we didn't know we were related at that point, but I saw it and it said Cope. I said, who is this man in West Africa that claimed he from Cope? From Orangeburg. I said, let me write this man a letter, see what's going on here. Boom. And that's how we connected.
Man, look, man, we cousins more than once. You know how you got cousins more than once down there? Man, we got
Chief and I, we're double related.
Yeah.
Well, y'all know y'all got cousins right here over here on the east. So when you out this way, Manson, when you out this way, y'all hit us up.
No doubt. And next time you make it to Orangeburg, man, you got to go see Baba, man. Go tap in with Baba, man.
And people do that. And the people we have met, cousins we have met, when they come home, they come to Orangeburg. Like people will be coming up for homecoming in a couple of weeks. They'll look me up. People we've had on the show, they come to Orangeburg. They look me up.
Yeah. And one thing too about this genealogy in Orangeburg, man. One thing we've been studying ourselves, but we've been finding ourselves related to certain historical figures, as well as finding that other people who are historical figures have connections to Orangeburg that we never knew. Like, for instance, they have a university called Africa University in Zimbabwe. The president is from Orangeburg.
Yeah.
You understand? Right now, he's an Orangeburg dude. Do you know that the first Black person ever to be the executive director for Penn Center in St. Helena in Beaufort was from Orangeburg? Yeah. You have connections of Big Daddy Kane, his family is from Orangeburg, the Hardys. You have Dave Chappelle got connections to Orangeburg. You have you have Herb Adderley, NFL Hall of Famer. You have Jeremiah Shabazz from NOI, Philadelphia Temple number 12 minister. You have all these people who have this connection to Orangeburg, and we can keep going and going and going and going and going. Puff Daddy from Holly Hill. We can keep going. So Orangeburg has always been like the center of Black culture. Even right now, Orangeburg has like an 88% Black community. Right now, it's one of the most Black populated places in the United States of America, and it has 2 colleges, 2 HBCUs, Claflin and State. And so when you talk about a Tuskegee or capital county for Black South Carolina, and you overstep Orangeburg, got a real big problem. You really don't know who you are.
Yep.
Hey, the Gullah Geechee studies started here in Orangeburg. Lorenzo
At State.
at State. When he first heard Gullah, people speaking Gullah, he heard it right here in Orangeburg first. And I can attest to that. All my cousins are from the Low Country. All of them are from my first cousin. All my first, you know, my father had 4 sisters, and all of them married men from Charleston. So all my first cousins are from Chucktown.
So let me say, y'all got anything coming up over there that we need to plug the people on and make sure they can come out and support you guys with?
Yeah. So first, Baba and Fode, thank y'all for having us on here. It's been a learning experience for me because I do want to know a lot more about that side, and I don't even want to say that side because it is who I am, on both sides, but what we're doing here, next Sunday, we have a community fun day called Kongay Fest. Like I said earlier, bounce houses, cotton candy, popcorn, tug of war, 3-legged races, live music, health checks, just a great time for the community to come together and bring the diaspora and the local community together. So we're excited about that. Also, you guys can check out our website, zionurbandevelopment.org, and just see some of the different things we have going on here on the continent. We got many more things to come, and hopefully, we also have a YouTube channel called Stepping Stones to Home. Hopefully maybe sometime next year we'll get out there to Sierra Leone, with our brother Fode and his wife, his beautiful queen. They'll be showing us around. We're gonna work on that. We're definitely gonna work on that.
For sure, man. For sure. You're more than welcome. Y'all more than welcome.
My brother, and my sister here, we connected now, and we're gonna maintain contact with y'all, see what we can do, because that's what we do. We build bridges with different people in the diaspora. So y'all in the family now.
Real quick. You can't put it in there. It's TSIYON. TSIYON.
Okay, I got you.
TSIYON.
Yep.
Okay.
Urban
Development, right?
Development.org. Yep.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's good. We definitely will maintain contact.
Yeah, man, for sure. We'll definitely stay in contact for real because once we connect, we got to stay connected. And like you said, East Africa, West Africa, it's still the same thing. It feels so spiritually reinforcing for us all to have the same root from the same county and to be doing this kind of work and representing what we representing. It just shows that there was a tradition or a transfer of manhood, of womanhood. There was I have a wife. Baba got 40 years in. Like we was groomed a certain way. We had certain kind of men around us, and certain kind of women around us, and it's just beautiful to see all 3 of us, particularly as Orangeburg men, holding it down, man. So I salute you 100%. And for anything we could do to assist you guys, let us know. Anytime you got something going on, you think you need to come on the show real quick and drop a gem on us, let us know. This is your show. This is not our show. This is our platform for the whole community. And we appreciate y'all so much.
And we appreciate you both as well.
Yes.
Man, we have to do this again sometime, man. Most definitely.
Absolutely. I think what we should do is partner up and get a conference or something going on, man. Do some virtual events together where we can co-promote and push together, man. Get this information out there.
Let's make it happen.
Get this information out there. All right.
This is what we do, man. This is what we do. This is what we do 24/7. This is how we get down.
Yes.
All right. So we'll holler at y'all soon. Love y'all. Y'all be safe over there. All right. Y'all be safe over there.
It was a
All
pleasure
right.
meeting y'all.
You as well. Look forward to future conversations. Salama.
All right, shalom.
Shalom.
All right, bye-bye. Boom. So we're still live.
Another
We're still live, but another good one, man. It's so it feel good. It feels so good, man, because it's like I'm looking at dude, man. I'm looking at you. I'm like, man, you take them glasses off, they're gonna see what they gonna see what we talking about. Cause man, I'm like, man, this dude look like Big Unk. You know, and like we got, you know what I mean?
You never know. You never know. Like I
Yeah,
said,
man.
I know a lot of, not a lot, but I know some Max and I know some Sistrum. So you never know. You
Yeah, for sure.
know. Especially
So it's a
with the
powerful
Max.
thing. It's powerful. You know, it's the thing that he said, family and community, man. We ain't family. We definitely community.
Yeah.
You understand? That means something.
Yeah, that's good, man. Like you just said, this was another powerful episode, man. It started to flow after a minute, we got into it. That's good.
Yeah, for sure.
That's good.
For sure. So I think we're about to shout out to the people out there, let them know we're gonna close out, but we're gonna play, of course, our dynamic outro video. Man, I love this thing, man. Sometimes I just sit down and play it 5 times for nothing. You know?
Yeah, I do the same.
But you know, we're gonna keep bringing y'all this content. Also, if you have anyone that you think is interested or that we should go after for the show, you can always send an email to us, Gullah House 1@gmail.com. Gullah House 1 @gmail.com. Hit us up. You know, I know there's a whole lot of people out there, and you know, y'all can help us make the show better by bringing more and more people on. But we've been doing our thing, man. Shout out to everybody who's been on the show this year, and man, very powerful platform we're building, cuz. I appreciate you too. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. So many rules, one fanboy.
Jag minns ju den tid du gav mig life billar jag. Nu vill jag kunna ge tillbaka allt jag inte kunna ge förut. Det finns ingen annan där som kan stå här by my side, oh why. Sättet du rör på det får mig att dö för det, baby. För de här yardis, de vill ju bara dra ner oss. Men du är fett och vanlig. Och det jag lägger all min tid upp. Jag vill ha det. Du får mig känna safety. Det kan nog leda, baby. Och jag kommer aldrig ändra mig. Aldrig. Kommer aldrig känna.
So we do have a citizenship tour that's coming up, which will be November the 20th through December the 6th. For those of you who have tested through African ancestry and have, came back to one of the ethnic groups here in Sierra Leone, you are entitled to get your citizenship. In order to gain your citizenship, you have to go through a licensed tour company. Gullah Dugu, we have been doing tours for years. Honestly, for years. We have registered our tour company. We have had a licensed tour company for 4 years. We're welcoming you. So if you fit the category, if you have taken the African ancestry test, and you want to come and obtain your citizenship, now is the time. So we do have This is Kenya. Welcome to Sabi Salon. On our first edition, we will be preparing cassava leaf, which is the national dish of Sierra Leone.
We come for better. We people that want to see what we they do.
But in English, it's about more. So we'll be preparing cassava leaf with tamale.
We like we salon.
exciting for the cassava
We
leaf.
come on a salon. We come to England. Oh yeah. But we don't run away.
We acquired cassava leaves and obtained 3 cups of nene color pepper. Afterwards, we took the cassava leaves to be ground.
We people them want to know what we they say. So now I'm asking yourself,
One pint of
We purchased 3 cups of groundnut for the cassava dish, along with 3 pints of palm oil, 4 cups of rice. These
The Tools and Seeds Farmer Assistance Project is designed for the Gullah Redemption Mission Sierra Leone, along with our partners, to push this mission to create food security through cash crop sustainability. Now, our program is geared not only just to farm and sell things. We are not capitalists. Our goal is to empower and to facilitate the overall socio-economic development of the host communities in which we farm.
Jag minns ju den tid du gav mig life billar, yo. Nu vill jag kunna ge tillbaka allt jag inte kunnat ge förut. Det finns ingen annan där som kan stå här by my side, oh why. Sättet du rör på det får mig att dö för det, baby. För de här yardis, de vill ju bara dra ner oss. Men du är fett och vanlig. Och det jag lägger av min tid, jag vill ha det. Du får mig känna safety. Jag kan nog leda, baby. Och jag kommer aldrig ändra mig.